dicey there in the fourth, but
Yeah,
got a little interesting in the fourth quarter. But I knew they were going to win. It just, you know, teams go on runs, and this was the last gasp for the Blazers.
dude, it was looking a little bit dicey. Game 3. People give me crap over the weekend. I was in California over the weekend because I kind of crapped on De'Aaron Fox after game 2. I said what I said. I said it with my chest out. Dude, man, homeboy Stephon Castle getting Nesio yesterday, man. What is going on? Fouling out of the game. Come on, man.
And good morning, Jason Garcia and Ray Castanuela.
So, Joe, I'm driving in from Conroe today, right?
Yeah.
And I'm getting closer and closer to San Antonio. Down I-10 coming west. And I see San Antonio basically on fire. I thought the Alamo had fallen again.
Oh, God, because all the smog.
Is it smog?
It's not smog. It's the humidity, man. And I think what's happening is it's just like that humidity just looms over everything.
Yeah.
Because I noticed the same thing when I was in Houston over the weekend visiting my daughter.
Yeah.
Same thing happened there, too. You could see, like, from a distance, the city just looked kind of like it was encased in this, like, cloud.
It looks like it's on fire.
Yeah.
I can't breathe, man.
Mike is in studio. They said, we hooping.
That's right, baby.
Tex Mex Frank in the house. What's up? Sean Quintero. To bring the lateness on Miguelito.
We do. But I'm here.
They said it's the smoke from the fireworks last night. Hey, good morning, Spurs, Ann. Where the dreams don't fade from the river walk nights to the Alamo shade. We rise together through the highs and the lows. Area 210. Oh, it's the life that we chose.
We're rising together on a playoff victory Wednesday. My name is Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. This is the Area 210 podcast powered by P.F. Chang's La Cantera and Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio. We're having a fantastic day because, again, the Spurs, for the first time in 9 years, advanced to the second round of the playoffs, beating the Portland Trailblazers last night at the Frostbank Center 114-95. Spurs in 5.
Spurs in 5. You didn't go in the, to your driveway there over in Conroe and get in the truck and go
honk the horn.
Honk. Go, Spurs, go, beep, 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 all by yourself? No?
My nephew was freaking out yesterday because we were all flying back from California. We were at a wedding over there in Temecula, California. And my nephew was like, man, I'm going to miss the Spurs game. Dude, it's great when the plane has the game on. That's fantastic. But I was in Conroe watching the game last night. Spurs got that victory 114-95. And, I'm so proud of this team. We never thought in a million years that they'd be in this position, Joe. Even the most optimistic Spurs fan didn't think we'd make it to the Western Conference semifinals. And what did we say, Joe? We were moving the goalposts, right? What is an acceptable year for this team?
Yeah.
Make it to the playoffs, right? Go, be a top 16. But the idea of them actually going to the 2 seed, being 62-20, winning the first round of the playoffs over the Trailblazers was beyond our wildest imagination. We're playing with house money as Spurs fans right now.
No, that we were. And we got to go ahead and do the victory lap, man. I think we'll go ahead and do the little alien with the Fiesta confetti falling from the ceiling.
Let's do it, baby. And that confetti is also for the fact that we crossed over 3,000 subscribers here at the Area 210 podcast over the past weekend. So thank you so much for all that, because that's great. I mean, we're the podcast that keeps growing. 3,000 YouTube subscribers. And I told you over the weekend, Joe, that less than 5% of YouTube channels ever hit that amount.
Yeah, that's true. This is less than 5% ever hit like the 3,000 threshold. But the problem is that a lot of people pay for their subscribers, right? And it really means nothing at the end of the day. It's just numbers.
Right.
But what we do is we've built a community around this podcast. So when we have events and we do things out in the community with the people, they come out. They're supporting us here in the chat. It's not like we got 3,000 subscribers, and then when we do the show, we only have like 3 people watching.
Right.
This shows you that when you build something the right way, the numbers,
They don't lie. Women lie. People lie. The numbers don't lie.
No,
they don't lie,
and
Mike.
I'm going to call it right now, Joe. In July, I want to have a karaoke party to celebrate 3,000.
All right.
A karaoke party. And yes, I will be in attendance. I'll make that happen. I'll make that happen. But, dude, the Spurs going off last night. Let's talk about this because they did get dicey down the stretch. Spurs lead that had been at 20-plus points. Whittled down to 9, but the Spurs pulled it out in the end. You know, it wasn't that bad. It's not like it got down to 3 or 4 points. But what I found interesting about last night's game was the announcer saying why they thought the Spurs were championship contenders. And they used a word, Joe, that we used 2 months ago. So I'm just saying we were ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Because remember we had a show back in, I want to say it was February.
Yeah. Okay.
And we titled it, "Are the Spurs Arrogant?"
Oh, yeah.
And the announcers were saying this is a very arrogant team. But it wasn't arrogant in a sense that you don't like them. They're arrogant in the sense of they have the opinion of why not us.
It's a swagger that they have about them, the aura, that they're projecting, that they know that they're a damn good team. And the thing is with the Spurs, and we saw a little bit of it in the Portland Trailblazers series. They got the switch.
Yeah.
They can turn it on and off,
And that's some of the things is you were a skeptic earlier in the season when it came to the Spurs because you were like, hey, and the old adage, right? The conventional wisdom of you need to have these losses, these heartbreaks to advance in the playoffs. You need to have all this experience to make it to the second round and beyond. And the announcers, they're going, the Spurs are looking at each other like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Like, they know they're so talented and so connected as a unit and healthy, knocking on wood, that conventional wisdom gets thrown out the window because conventional wisdom, teams don't have a 7'4", 7'5" guy who can knock down threes at a 35-36% clip, who's a defensive player of the year.
Yeah, I like this comment by Spurs and nothing but dogs in our pound. Go Spurs, go.
That's what I'm talking about. And this is the fun part of the show. And the fun part about being a Spurs fan is, and I told you this, oh my God, Joe, you and I with this show, so far ahead of the game when it comes to it all. Because I remember just one comment that Brian Windhorst said
pointing
back when the Spurs won the draft back in 2023. When Wemby was first selected by the Spurs, I think it was either 23 or 22, it was 23. And they said, the Spurs aren't getting Tim. They're not getting Tony. They're not getting Manu. They're getting somebody who's more like Kobe.
Yeah. They're getting a rock star.
They're getting a rock star. They're getting somebody who's super intense. And I think that you look at this roster and it's pick your poison. Like there's just so many different weapons that are there. Some days it's Harper, sometimes it's Fox, some days it's Castle, some days it's whomever. And Wemby doesn't have to do the heavy lifting. Wemby gets to cheer from the sidelines. They take him out of the game, and sometimes the lead actually gets wider. Or sometimes when they're losing, they take Wemby out of the game. The Spurs catch up. That wasn't the case a couple of years ago. That wasn't the case last year. Wemby was out of the game. There went the team.
Yeah, but I mean, players that they had before they had this caliber of cast surrounding Wemby. What did they have? Zach Collins.
Trey Jones.
They had he who shall not be named number 10.
Oh,
JS.
I know.
I mean, Trey Jones, like you were saying, they had players out there that weren't
ballers.
They weren't very good.
They didn't
were
have
just
hoopers.
They were just role players.
Right.
If they go to any other team, they ain't starting. They're going to be coming off the bench or what have you. They're just role players.
Do you know why I knew this game was in the bag? When Champagne was knocking down threes.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
If Champagne goes off for 3, 4, or 5 3-pointers, just call it a day.
No,
dude.
I knew it was in the bag because the victory flag, right? The victory cigar.
Yeah.
Is when they roll out Olynyk.
Not Lindy Waters?
No, not Lindy Waters too. But when they put in Olynyk, you're like, all right, man, we got this one. That's Mitch saying that's the victory cigar.
But notice yesterday's minutes played per game. All 5 starters had more than 30 minutes played. Champagne with 30. Castle with 33. Would have been more, but he fouled out.
Yeah.
Wemby, Fox, and Vassell with 34. And then you look at it, Keldon had 18 minutes played, and Harper had 26, and everybody else was basically nothing. Cornette had 13. Barnes had 13. But at that point, Joe, notice how Carter Bryant wasn't in the game. Notice how Harrison Barnes only had 13 minutes. how Luke Cornett only had 13 minutes. I think now, Joe, we're now seeing that 8-man rotation that most teams develop going into the second, third, and fourth round. They're basically saying, hey, look, Carter Bryant, it's time to, it was great.
Yeah.
It's been fun. Be ready. But we're going with our boys. We're going with our starters. We're going with our guys.
They had to make a little adjustment there, right? And it wasn't like Carter Bryant was in Mitch's doghouse. It's just a matter of adjusting, right? Giving them a different look, you know? And Mitch said, you know what? We have this lead. Let's go ahead and give him a different look out there. And you know what? It boded well, right, for Carter Bryant, because you know what? He's going to be even more refreshed and ready to go for round 2 because his name might be called. He might have to play more minutes. And you know what? He can do it too because he's young, you know? So we got an incoming super chat we got to address here.
Money talk.
And this is by Spurs Ann. Thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat. And she's saying, how about them Spurs?
Yes. Can I say it like Jerry? How about them Spurs? Woo! You know, this team is a remarkable team. And, you know, before the game started, Keldon Johnson was given the 6th Man of the Year award. You know, so he got to hoist that trophy up over his head. No different than Wemby when he got Defensive Player of the Year. And it's all the pieces of the puzzle coming together. It's luck. It is drafting. It's the right free agents, the people who wanted to come over here. And Brian Wright has done no wrong in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Last 3 years. The first 6 years of his tenure, dicey at best. Right? Remember that year when he drafted Bronham Wesley and the player who will not be named JS?
Yeah.
So 3 first-rounders whiffed on all 3 of them, right? But the last few years, you get a little bit of luck in your way. You win the Wemby sweepstakes. You have everybody pass on Stephon Castle ahead of you. And then you luck into getting Dylan Harper. And all of a sudden, look where you are. Spurs now in the second round of the playoffs. And now have to rest. Get your rest. 4 days minimum.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a week, Joe.
And you know, tonight's game that they're going to be showing, it's going to be Minnesota Timberwolves and the Denver Nuggets.
Well, that's
right?
tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow, should I say.
Yeah.
That one's going to be a pivotal game there because Minnesota needs to win that game, right? If they go ahead and they just let Denver win that game and it goes 7 games, now the momentum switched into Denver's favor.
Right.
Minnesota right now is in the lead, right? They can go ahead and win the series and put Denver to bed, you know? And if they go on and they get past Denver and they go into the second round and they play the San Antonio Spurs, that bodes well for the Spurs. And I'm not saying this is going to be a cakewalk for the Spurs, you know, even though they're without their best player and Anthony Edwards right now because he has a bone bruise and a hyperextended knee. This will be a good test for them because it's going to be even more physical as you get into the second round. The intensity gets amplified even more. This was a good test for the Spurs and them going up against Portland. And you know what? Can we give a big shout out here to Tiago Splitter? Because what he was able to do with this Portland Trailblazers team was pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
You know, and I hope that the Portland Trailblazers do wind up giving him the head coaching position because he does deserve it.
He does. And no different than Mitch Johnson last year taking over for Pop.
Yeah.
But based on your last comment, Joe, your last take, I disagree.
Really?
If the Spurs play Minnesota, it's a cakewalk. It is a cakewalk because Anthony Edwards is not going to be 100%.
No, but I mean, the physicality of the game will be amplified. It'll be more physical. I'm not saying that the Spurs are just going to, you know, be blowing them out. It might be a little bit more competitive. You know, they might win by 10, 8 points.
I think the Spurs are going to roll the T-Wolves if the T-Wolves make it to the
see.
second round. The Anthony Edwards is not expected to be back, according to ESPN, until
man.
May 9th at the earliest, which would be like game 2 or 3 at that point. And by then, if they fall back 2-0 to the Spurs, the odds of them winning 4 out of 5 would be very, very low. Dante DiVincenzo, by the way, out for the season with an Achilles injury.
Yeah, he ruptured it.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's gone. And then you look at the Nuggets on the other side. Aaron Gordon with a calf injury.
Yeah.
Those linger, man. And Aaron Gordon is somebody who has to be respected on both sides of the court because he can bring it defensively. And I'm looking at ESPN analytics for that game tomorrow night, which is going to be on ESPN at 8:30, where they give the odds as to who's going to win. First time ever I've ever seen this, Joe. First time ever.
What?
50% to 50% on who's going to win that game.
Jeez.
Again, the Nuggets need to win that game to take it back to Denver. Minnesota trying to win without their entire starting backcourt Interesting, man.
I thought they had favored the Minnesota Timberwolves, even though they're on the road. They think they were favored by like 6 points.
Oh, like spread wise.
Yeah, spread wise.
Let's see here. It's a good
I think
point.
the spread was 6. I think they favored Minnesota by 6 points, even though they're on the road, which is kind of odd, you know.
Well, let's see here. So tomorrow night's game. Let's see who they have as they have Denver favored by 5.5 points. No respect. No respect for the T-Wolves.
Wow.
When it comes to it all. Look at tomorrow night. The Hawks play the 76ers play the Celtics. 76ers held on yesterday on the road and forcing a game 6 there in Boston against the Celtics. That's kind of funny. Tonight, though, another team that should have closed it out. The Lakers try to close it out again tonight at the Crypto against the Rockets, favored by 4.5 points.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be weird if the Rockets kind of just extended the game, extended the series, especially considering the fact that Kevin Durant might be out?
And it would be kind of weird if that happened, you know?
I hate the Rockets. Can't stand them.
Rockets are trash, bro.
But Joe, I think everything is in line now, Joe. Collision course has been set. OKC, San Antonio, Western Conference Finals. Like, I don't see Denver stopping the Spurs with Aaron Gordon out. They are hurt. They're nicked up. They're going to go to a 7-game series more than likely against Minnesota. No rest. The Spurs are going to be sitting there all rested. Home court advantage. I don't see it happening, Joe. I think the Spurs have the advantage, the upper hand when it comes to all this. And then OKC going to take on more than likely the Lakers, who are decimated with injuries as well.
Yeah.
Collision course, Joe.
Everybody's falling apart, you know. Meanwhile, the one thing that the Spurs and OKC has going for them is both teams are healthy, you know, and you want them to stay that way. I would like to go ahead and see the San Antonio Spurs go up against OKC. Can the Spurs beat OKC in a 7-game series? I think they can. If you look and see what happened during the regular season, and they were one of the few teams that had OKC's number. OKC only beat the Spurs in one outing, and what was that? Minus Wemby. Right? If the Spurs have Wemby, that's the X factor. I think the Spurs got what it takes. They're built to go ahead and compete and beat OKC. I think OKC's afraid of the Spurs, quite honestly.
And they do have somebody who gets hurt all the time, Jalen Williams, who was an all-star a couple of years ago. Jalen Williams got knocked out of the series with another injury. He missed the vast majority of the season. He missed 49 out of the 82 games. So they're not as healthy as the Spurs are. Yeah. Jalen Williams is somebody who can spread the floor, who can slash and things like that. The Spurs are built to withstand Oklahoma City. It's funny because you think Oklahoma City built this juggernaut because they got Chet Holmgren. Well, guess what? We got the better version of Chet Holmgren. We've got Wemby. Yeah. Oh, they got Lou Dort. Okay, well, we've got Castle. You know, Oh, they've got Caruso. We've got Harper.
We just don't have a free throw merchant.
We don't
need it. What do you call it? Ethical basketball.
Ethical basketball. By the way, that arrogance right there, when the Spurs called it ethical basketball. Well, we play ethical basketball. You know, it's kind of funny because that basically brings to mind, well, what is unethical basketball? And it's the free throw merchant that is SGA.
Yeah.
And with all eyes on the NBA at that point, I would hope the officiating would be better. I didn't think anything bad about this series when it comes to officiating. They allowed a lot of aggressive play, but they allowed it for both sides.
Yeah.
Interesting thing. When did Stephon Castle become a dick? I mean, I hate to say it that way, but my God, you know, what is he doing right now? Yesterday, fouled out of the game, had 7 turnovers, fouled out of the game with about 4 minutes to go. Between him and Fox, either bumping Denny or putting the ball in his chest, whatever the case, putting the ball in his chest, you know, jawing at him, whatever the case may be. We're not used to this as Spurs fans, but it gets me excited, Joe. It gets me excited to see that this team is not going to be, because we talked about whether or not they're gonna step up. They need an enforcer and all that. Dude, they talk their mind. They talk their crap.
Yeah, but the thing is that people weren't watching what Denny was doing on the court too. He likes to move his mouth. He likes to go ahead and talk his, you know what? So you know what? Once the Spurs started getting one up on him, they started giving him the business, and then all of a sudden he gets upset. He gets angry.
You know, we all have that one friend who's a douchebag.
Oh,
you know, we all have that one, but it's our douchebag.
Yeah.
You know, it's our guy, so we're okay with it. You know, our guys are kind of like that sometimes, because our guys, my family, when the whole dust up a couple of games ago with Castle and Denny,
Oh God,
when Castle put the ball to his chest, they're like, I cannot believe Denny pushed him. Well, I mean, Castle didn't do anything. He just gave him the ball. No, he didn't. He was being a dick. And I like it because you know why? He's our guy.
Yeah.
He's our guy doing that. So I'm okay with it. I don't want somebody doing that to Wemby, but our guy did it, so it's okay. I know I'm being a double standard here. I know I'm contradicting myself, or as a flip-flopper, if you will, but I'm okay with it.
Arrogance is there, Joe. I lost you, Mike. The arrogance is there, and I'm excited for the arrogance. I'm excited to see Castle go out there. I'm excited to see Harper. Harper doesn't have that arrogance, though, Joe. He knows that Harper seems to be a little bit more reserved about himself.
Yeah.
But my goodness, Spurs advancing to the second round of the playoffs for the first time in 9 years.
There you go.
9 years, Joe.
We got Miguelito back.
First time in 9 years.
Yeah, we got another incoming super chat. We got to get before it gets buried. And this is from Jason Garcia. So Jason Garcia, thanks for the $4.99 super chat. And he says he went honking down Burnside Street in Portland. It was a lonely drive, but worth it. He goes, go Spurs, go. Sit-go guy for Los Spurs. So he wants the sit-go guy. I knew somebody was going to pay for that guy for today's show.
Nice.
And here we go.
¡Oh, me pegan toda la pura verga! ¡Me trepan a la verga! Mira.
I bet you the sit-go guy went honking down Military Drive.
Down military?
Down Military, yeah.
I don't think we're that far out. I think you kind of saved the less commissary.
Nah, Military is just around the corner from here, man. Just go down the street, down Marbach, and there you go. You're Military. Take a right.
Very nice. Well, speaking of Marbach, people were telling me on Twitter that the smog or the smoke that we have is not coming from Mexico. It's coming from Marbach. Any truth to that rumor?
Yeah. That what?
That the smoke is coming from Marbach.
Oh, my God.
Not Mexico.
They said the audio is buns, guys. Okay, well, we'll check the audio right now. Hold on. Oh, I see what happened.
There we go. Now it should be good.
Okay, was that my audio or your audio?
I think it was the main audio. Something switched. It kind of blinked a little bit.
Okay,
so
there you go.
I fixed it.
Very cool.
I fixed it.
But Joe, looking at this team coming up next, I think the Spurs right now are in a position to make a statement in this next round.
Yeah.
The importance of them taking out the next opponent, because now, Joe, I was thinking to myself, remember the last game of the season? It was like, can't believe the Spurs aren't going for the win. They could have sent Denver to the other side of the bracket.
No.
The Spurs said everybody, they didn't care. They lost that game on purpose. They just, whatever. They tried out their second round, their second string and third string out there. They didn't try to win the last game. And the Spurs went out there, arrogance again. We don't care if we play Denver in the second round. We don't care if we play Minnesota in the second round. Well, now knowing that they're wounded dogs, whichever team comes out, either Minnesota in 6 or Denver in 7, they're wounded. I now, as a Spurs fan, Joe, have no fear of either of those teams.
No.
None whatsoever.
If Minnesota had Anthony Edwards
and
healthy.
DiVincenzo, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Because they were hot. They were a hot team. When healthy, they were a very, very solid team. But without that backcourt, or even with DiVincenzo out, and let's say that Edwards comes back, but he's at 70%. No, that team ain't gonna beat the Spurs. And then you look over at Denver. Nikola Jokic seems to me like he's frustrated. He's frustrated about something. Look at that whole dust up he had the other day with that one player over on the bench. I forgot the guy's name. McDaniels.
No.
You don't get that mad, Joe, unless you're frustrated about something. And I think the frustration is, Joe, it has dawned on him that the window on the Denver Nuggets is closed.
Yeah, it is closed. I mean, if they don't do anything this season, they're done.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what happens a lot of times is you think, oh, we got one more run left in us. And that's why you need to go ahead and play so hard and play with so much intensity when you get to the playoffs, because you never know when you're going to get there again.
Right.
You never know if you're going to have that squad with you. Injuries can happen, trades can happen, and you're thinking, "Oh, I'm going to be back. I'm going to be back." Doesn't always work out that way. And I think what Jokic is finally realizing, like you just pointed out, that window is shut.
Yeah.
It passed him by already.
You passed them by. They got the one ring.
Yeah.
He got the one ring, got the 3 MVPs, all that stuff. But I think he realizes it's done because Oklahoma City, Joe, has a freaking lottery pick this year, more than likely picking at 14. The Spurs are going to get better because Harper's going to be better, because Castle's going to be better, because Wemby's going to be better. They're not in their prime yet.
Yeah.
And then you look at all the free agents that are going to want to eventually make their way to a winning team. Somebody's going to want to knock on the Spurs door. There's going to be a free agent, Joe, this offseason that we're not looking at, that we're going to be surprised going, they want to come play with Wemby?
Yeah.
They want to come play with Fox and Harper? We need a power forward, Joe. That's probably the one position that we need the most. And I'm not saying get him in the draft. Get somebody who's willing to and ready to play now. Plug and play, because the Corolla's done.
Yeah, I think
so.
so.
Thank you for Harrison Barnes. We'll get you a ring this year, hopefully, but you're done.
Is it time to trade the Corolla in?
Yeah, Joe, it's one of those things where something's popping up at some point, you know.
Too much maintenance on it. We put a set of new tires on there. Give it a once over as far as, detailing. give it an oil change and be like,
give it the sign of the cross. Give it the sign of the cross and take it off.
Put the for sale sign on it.
For sale by owner. Spurs are going to get somebody this offseason, Joe. You know they're going to get better. The Rockets are going to get better because they're going to actually have a point guard next year. So the window is shut from the Nuggets. And you know what? How was Jokic not suspended? I don't know how much you and LG talked about that, or you and Sean talked about that. But what happened with Jokic the other day when he attacked? Well, he didn't attack, but he made a beeline towards their bench.
Yeah, somebody said something.
The NBA had to do something, and they did nothing. Which means that if we have one of our guys do that to another team, there shouldn't be anything done about it.
Swallow those with the whistle. Yeah. You know what it is at the end of the day, and why they don't dish out punishments and stuff like that.
Oh, by the way, that last block that you had right there.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, Vassell's block. Who was he? Who did he block from the? Who did he block from the Trailblazers on that one?
There it is. Let's see.
Oh, and then he does the Dikembe Mutombo.
No.
Oh my God. Was that Klingon that he blocked?
Yeah, Klingon.
God, Klingon sucks.
You know what? Yeah, he does. He's just a big, goofy white boy. And that's we're talking about that yesterday, me and LG. The Spurs magic sauce has always been what, Mike? They surround themselves with a good cast of player, right?
Right.
And they always have to have one magic thing in the mix. And that's the big, goofy white boy. And that's Luke Cornett. Remember years past? Rasho Nesterovic, Will Perdue, Fabricio. But Fabricio wasn't a white boy.
Yeah, he may as well have been.
I mean, come on.
I mean, he's Latino, but still.
Yeah, but I'm just saying they have to have that goofy white boy,
But everyone seems to know their role and gets along on this team. And we're looking at highlights there of, Wemby passing the ball to Castle.
And that Area 51 connection was in full effect yesterday, man.
Yes, courtesy of ESPN, all this video right here.
What about Fox? Everybody was ready to drop Fox off at the fire station. And your boy Sean, I'm going to call Sean out. Sean was hating on Castle, and he was blaming Castle for everything that was happening in the fourth quarter. And I told him it was all Castle by himself. It wasn't the team as a whole. It was just one person.
Castle did have 7 turnovers yesterday.
I get that.
Got to clean that up.
But you can't
and
just
he fouled
blame,
out.
You can't just blame one person, though. The whole team was playing in that fourth quarter, and they were just playing like ass coming out of the gate.
In a closeout game, Castle cannot foul out and have 7 turnovers.
That's on him, man. Mitch could have called him out.
This was the first time this season that I saw Castle not play measured. One of the things that I love about Castle, Vassell, Fox, Wemby, is that you can't get under their skin. We saw Cade Cunningham attack Castle that one play, right? It wasn't even a play, just shoved him to the ground. We saw Jaylen Brown get ejected from the game at the Frost Bank Center because he was frustrated by Stephon Castle. And then we saw Denny Avila go bonkers in last night's second half. Just lose his mind. They get frustrated by these guys. And I talk about on the flip side, our guys don't do that. They get swatted. They get, posterized, whatever the case may be. No reaction to it all. But yesterday was the first time I saw Castle or any of these Spurs players, but in Castle in particular, first time I've ever seen Castle not play measured, not play within himself, and actually lose his composure. Because those fouls that he had on Denny, those fouls that he had yesterday, those 6 fouls were all legit. It wasn't like, I cannot believe the official called that. Those were all legit fouls. So he had 6 legit fouls. He fouled out.
Damn, that was pretty right there. That play.
Let me see it.
That pass by Castle, Area 51 right there. Boom.
Boom.
But everybody hates Castle. When he makes mistakes, I get it.
I don't hate Castle. Castle's my son.
Sean hates Castle. He wants to drop him off at the fire station.
Now, De'Aaron Fox is the one that gets heat, but he's gonna get heat because he's the highest paid Spur.
Oh, this was the play right here where they showed Wemby's dad.
Oh yeah. Okay, show that play again. By the way, when was the last time you've ever seen someone swatted above the blackboard?
Get out of here. Get that out of here. Wemby's dad, mira el Wembeazo, el Wembeazo.
Joe, Wemby yesterday just 17 points, 14 rebounds,
that was
3 assists. He had
too,
6
man.
blocks. But Joe, you used to get mad at stat lines. If I had told you that, Joe, that Wemby was going to have 6 blocks but only 17 points, you would have been like, he's not generational. You would give me all that crap.
You got to move the goalposts, Mike. Got to move the goalposts. You got to get him motivation, man. You can't just give him praises off the gate.
I enjoyed Keldon doing the drum because he had waited 7 years for this. The longest tenured Spur, going out and getting the drum. He didn't know what he was doing with it, but still, it was fun.
Yeah.
All right, I'm a supporter of the drum, Joe.
You're gonna do it. That's the best part of the whole game.
Again, the Spurs really took off as a team after I showed my belly to the Jackals.
Oh God, dude. No, sir, man. I will not show my belly to the Jackals. We will not be having Spurs Nacho or any of the Jackals here on this show.
Because he'll show up in uniform, dude.
We won't let him in. He's got to have extra clothes. You got to bring extra clothes, Nacho. Come on.
Like, do you recognize? Like, would anybody recognize Spurs Jesus if he was not wearing the biblical clothing?
Yeah, that's blasphemous, by the way. Blasphemous.
I agree. Spurs last night shot 40% from 3, and when they shoot 40%, they win. Amazing.
MJ abandoned Castle. Yeah, he left him at the fire station.
I never abandoned Castle.
You left him at the fire station. You said that he was no good and that you want nothing to do with him, and you had adopted Harper instead.
I never said that.
You said you didn't want Castle. You wanted Harper.
I said Castle's going to be a 2 or 3-time All-Star, and then Harper's going to be an 8-time All-Star. No, you're just putting words in my mouth.
No.
Just because I believe that Harper's going to be better than Castle when it's all said and done is a great thing for Spurs fans. And I'm pointing that out, Joe. Because if you like Castle and you think Castle after 2 years is going to be all NBA one day or be an All-Star one day, wait till you see Harper in his prime.
No, I didn't mix words, Sean. You said you didn't like Castle. It was you blamed Castle for everything.
He did say that. I legitimately remember Sean saying that he was not a Castle fan. So that one, you are mixing up my words with Sean's words.
No, Castle. He said that he didn't like Castle.
That's Sean. But when I come out and say that Castle's going to be a 2 or 3-time All-Star, that makes me a jerk. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. So I remember that, Sean. Remember when Castle has a good game, don't be cheering for him. You got to say it with your chest out.
So countdowns comes out on our chat powered by PF Jenkins Law countdown that says this morning Jamal Crawford said Wemby would only take minutes to pick up things. It would take other players months. Jamal worked on his handles with him over the summer. Jamal Crawford, one of the best 6 men ever in the NBA.
And look at William Van Beckham says Joe said Castle can't shoot. Where's the lie?
Well, I mean, he's gotten better.
Well, where's the lie?
There was an improvement there. I'm not going to just say that off of the top of my head. We saw improvement from Harper over the offseason. I mean, Harper was the best rated 3-point shooter in the month of March. in the entire NBA. But Castle did make some strides, right? So let's look at that, right?
It's okay if he can't. He's not like a sniper. That's fine, dude. He can do other things on the court.
Right. Okay, let's see. From field goal shooting, Joe, from year 1 to year 2. Last year, he was at 42.8% as a rookie. He jumped up to 47.1. That's not bad. I mean, that's a 4.3% increase. From 2-pointers, he went from 50%, 50.1 to 53.1.
Yeah.
That's a 0.3% increase, right? 3% increase.
Yeah.
From 3-point shooting, Joe, went from 28.5 to 33.2. Going in the right direction.
Yeah.
But I mean, free throw shooting, 72% to 73%.
But what
The
is
effective field goal shooting percentage, 47.6 to 52.1. Castle improved in every facet of shooting, from free throws to 2-pointers to 3-pointers, and effective field goal shooting percentage all the way through.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he ain't gonna be that kind of player that's gonna be like a sniper or anything like that. But the thing is that he does a lot of other things well besides just trying to shoot the ball. He can create his own shot. He can look for the open man. He gets his teammates involved. He can play great defense. He has a lot of other attributes besides just focusing on, oh, look at his shooting. Look at his shooting. I mean, it's an aspect of the game, but it's not a make or break for me for Castle.
You can tell when he's feeling it, when he's not feeling it. And whenever he's not feeling it, he holds the form out a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, he lost the confidence in that shot. Castle, his rookie year, was not confident shooting the ball from deep. Now he's a little bit more confident. Still not 100% there, but man, he gets into 35%, 36% accuracy for the season. That's all-star level, Joe, with everything else that he does.
Yeah. There was times during the game where I was watching what the Spurs were doing, and when they're at their best, they're moving the ball, right? They're passing the ball. They're moving it around the horn. They're getting their teammates involved. They're giving it to they're making the right choices with the ball. They're giving it to the hot hand. And when they start getting away from that and they start reverting back, when they have a big lead, they revert back to playing hero ball. Let me go ahead and get, off the ball dribble, isolation play, one-on-one, doesn't work. Poor shot selection, stop moving the ball, late on the rotations, they get caught in the switches, stuff like that. It just they get lazy, and the thing is that Mitch has to clean that up. If you're going to want to be a championship caliber team, you have to clean those things up, because if you're up against a good team, let's say like OKC, right? You're up by 20 points plus in the fourth quarter against OKC. There's 5 or 6 minutes to go. There's a lot of time to play. You can't get lazy. You have to go ahead and not make mistakes against good teams, right?
Right.
You can make these mistakes against a caliber of team like the Blazers and still be able to win. But when you play against really good teams, if you start making mistakes, they're going to make you pay.
The hero ball for me, though, Joe, when you talk about that, involves De'Aaron Fox. I've been a big supporter of De'Aaron Fox, but game 2, he wet the bed. He wet the bed. He crapped the bed. He did all. He did not only the number 1s, he did number 2. He did all the number 3. He crapped the bed. He wet the bed. And I called him out on it. And people gave me crap because he had a good game 3, game 4. They needed him when Wemby went down with an injury to step up, to be the all-star that he is. He didn't. And I'm a jerk for doing it. And it's like everyone was coming up with these De'Aaron Fox apology forms. I didn't believe in De'Aaron Fox because of X, Y, and Z. No. My excuse is he's the highest paid player on the team. He's an all-star. And he needs to step up when called upon.
Yeah.
So he didn't. Did he play better the rest of the series? Yes, he did. Led the team in scoring last night. Good for De'Aaron Fox. I like that. But at some point, man, it's going to be Harper's team.
Think so, Dylan Harper?
At some point, man. Number 2 overall pick of the draft. Of course, it's going to be a seed.
How is this going to work out, though? So we've seen kind of a dilemma, right, in the playoffs. I'm not trying to cause controversy. You've seen what happens when they play Carter Bryant. What does that mean? Less minutes for Keldon Johnson.
Right.
Right. Now, Mitch went ahead and said, you know what? We're going to go with Keldon and let him get his minutes and get his reps in right now, preparing him for round 2, no doubt. And they said Carter Bryant. What's going to happen with that dynamic there? Because you're looking at a young player, right, that's a very very good defender, right? But he's not quite the caliber of player that Keldon is, right? Because Keldon's the sixth man of the year,
Mm-hmm.
which means he can not only play defense, but he can also contribute on the offensive end. Something that Carter Bryant can't do early on right now, right? Consistently. He can work into that, he can grow into that. But what is Mitch going to wind up doing moving on, in the second round of the playoffs here? Who's going to get those minutes? Is it going to be Carter Bryant, or is it going to be Keldon?
It's going to be Keldon. Keldon's a more experienced player, and Carter Bryant hasn't been center stage like that before. Carter Bryant works well when you are up against certain types of players, certain types of teams. I can see Carter Bryant playing against the Rockets. If the Spurs somehow magically play the Rockets in the playoffs, Carter Bryant would be needed for that because you would need to shut down scores. What does he do best, Joe? Shut down scores.
Yeah.
If the Spurs would play Minnesota and they're without DiVincenzo and they're without Anthony Edwards, well, they would be without DiVincenzo. It's out for the season. There's not enough scores over there. There's no need to have a defensive stopper against a team like Minnesota.
Yeah.
But do you need a defensive stopper against Denver? Yeah. So I would say this, though. He'd probably get more play against Denver than he would against Minnesota because he's not needed in Minnesota. His skill set's not needed in against Minnesota.
I like that. Talk your what, Wemby. Go ahead. That's El Wembeyazo. That's what we need. We need to see El Wembeyazo.
Mm-hmm.
And round 2, tickets are now on sale to the public. Of course, season ticket holders probably already had first dibs. But nonetheless, second round tickets, I bet you anything they're going to be more expensive than the first round.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to pay $300 to sit up in the nosebleed?
Oh, let's see.
Con la raza?
We don't even know what time it is. We don't even know what time the first game is going to be or when it's going to be, but are tickets now available? They'll be round 2. Let's see, your San Antonio Spurs. Let's see here. The biggest nosebleed last game was $128 was the cheapest seat. Right now, the cheapest seat to go into the next game, Joe?
Yeah.
The cheapest seat is $178.
Let's see. I'm going to show it on camera. Dang.
$179 is the lowest price ticket for a nosebleed. $1,838 is the best seat in the house right now. So if you want to be up in the rafters, Joe, above the rafters, not with the rafters, above the rafters, $200 gets you in the door, Joe.
What's the difference between me paying that and being there and then hanging out like at Little Woodrow's or Hooters or Twin Peaks or Bombshells or something?
Okay, imagine if they make the finals, Joe.
Now that I'll go to the Western Conference, right? Western Conference Finals, NBA Finals. But to pay this much, right? And this is a thing that Spurs fans still hasn't come to terms with. This is the price of Wemby, right? He's a big draw. And the Spurs are in the second round of the playoffs for the first time in quite some time here. 7 seasons. If you're paying this much to go see him at the Frost Center, and everybody wants to go see that beautiful new arena that the Spurs are going to build, how much do you think you're going to pay to go see the Spurs play in the playoffs?
Right.
In the middle of downtown, it's a prime location with all these things to do. The cost right now is nothing in comparison to what it's going to cost you once that new arena is built. And that's not saying just for the playoffs. That's for a regular season game as well.
JHNSB saying the Spurs are pricing out the middle class. I don't know if it's the Spurs. I think it's supply and demand.
Yeah.
It's the popularity of this team.
That's the Wemby effect, man. Wemby's a big draw, not just here in San Antonio, but wherever he goes.
I'm 49 years old, Joe. I have gone to a Spurs game in San Antonio every year since I was 5.
Yeah.
My dad would take me to go see games against the Lakers and whatnot, and I go see Gervin and Mike Mitchell and Johnny Moore. I go watch those guys. So since age 4 or 5 to today, I've been to at least one game at the Hemisphere, the Alamo Dome, the SBC, the AT&T, the Frost, even the games in Austin.
Yeah.
I've not been to one game this year at the Frost. It'll be the first time in over 4 decades that I'm going to miss a game at the Frost, unless I go to one of these playoff games. But I've been to 3 games this year.
Yeah.
I went to a game in Dallas Went to a game in Houston, went to a game in Miami, and I will tell you this much, Joe. I would much rather watch the Spurs on the road than at home.
Why?
It's just a different vibe, dude.
Yeah, okay.
So I will say this. Chica's probably not listening to this right now.
She is now.
You know, I got some silver coins. I might sell them off to go get tickets to go watch the Spurs play in Oklahoma City. I want to be in Oklahoma City, Joe.
Let's see how much the tickets are for that. Because it's really, at the end of the day, I mean, it's not that far of a drive from where you're at, right? But from me here in San Antonio to OKC, if I go and take the main highway up there, it's probably about a 6 to 8 hour drive.
Yeah, I probably have a good hour and a half head start over you.
Yeah.
Well, probably 2 because you have to drive through Austin. I don't.
Oh, and I got to go through Houston.
Oh, no, you have to go through Austin and then Dallas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, but Dallas traffic is pretty bad, but Austin is horrendous, dude, with all the construction and stuff going over there. No, man. But I don't know if you saw this or not.
Hey, by the way, nobody show Puro these prices, man. You can get all mad.
We gotta get him back on the show, man. I miss me some Puro. I think all has been forgiven with Puro. And look at our good friend from the Countdown City Geeks. I know this is Ted watching. Shout out to you, my friend. He says prices haven't changed much yet. He paid $225 for Game 7 against Detroit in the finals, middle row, upper level. But that was yesterday's prices. That's not today's prices.
Yeah, I'm doing an inflation 225 in 2005. Let's see here. That is worth. People don't realize inflation's a big deal, right?
It is.
It's the equivalent of playing $380 today.
I think the cheapest price when the new arena's built for a ticket, just a regular ticket to see.
Wait, I like that comment right there, by the way.
Which one?
Josh Avalar. Watching your team on the road. Oh, I saw it with Josh. I saw one of the games with Josh. Watching your team on the road is the most underrated experience as a fan. It is. It is. I mean, it made me fall in love with number 10, JS, for one day when I was with Josh watching that game against the Rockets when he came out and said F Houston after the game when he got into that dust up with Dylan Brooks and Amen Thompson. That's the thing, man. Watching him on the road is fascinating, especially with Wemby on the team, because everybody else is like, my God, that guy's so great. They like look at you as Spurs fans and go, man, you guys are lucky. You guys are lucky. You have that guy. Yeah. Speaking of which, Josh was on our podcast. I watched game 1 with him over at Pluckers in Shenandoah, Texas, right, which is outside the Woodlands. Josh, tell me if I was right or wrong. When we did predictions for the series, I said Spurs would win game 1, would lose game 2, but would win 3, 4, and 5. Mike Stradamus was in the house. Joe.
Oh my God.
Mike Stradamus was in the house.
You got to pick up your own nickname. That's my nickname.
No, because sometimes I'm right.
No, you got to get your own nickname. You got to get your own. You've got to get your own. Oh, and look at, we got a video that I wanted to show. And look at this. This is funny. This is what the Spurs, one of the Spurs Jackals was doing yesterday. They said, it's all in good fun. They had a sign there that had Denny Avija's chipped tooth. You see that, Mike?
No.
Oh, no, that's puro right there, dude. That's puro.
Joe, I'm looking up Thunder price tickets, Joe. Do you think it's cheaper or more expensive?
I would think it would be cheaper.
The cheapest seat in the house is $167, Joe.
Yeah.
And if you want to have like a really good seat,
200.
I mean, down low, 400, 438.
It's not bad.
Including fees. Chica's been warned. She's been warned.
You're going to go sell some gold coins, silver
coins. And that's funny, Joe. I can't believe the Spurs made it to the second round of the playoffs. I just can't believe it.
Jeez.
Let's give some love to one of our sponsors. Which one? It's Wednesday, which means it's Wednesday Wines Day.
Yep.
Over at P.F. Chang's La Cantera. Let's show some love to Sean and P.F. Chang's La Cantera.
P.F. Chang's La Cantera, San Antonio's premier destination for dinner, date night, or happy hour. Enjoy one of their signature dishes, such as the Singapore street noodles, sesame chicken, or Chang's spicy chicken, or their infamous Chang's chicken lettuce wraps, which are delicious, by the way. You can enjoy all this while you're dining in an Asian-inspired atmosphere. And make sure to enjoy the new outdoor patio and try some of PF Chang's signature cocktails and drinks during happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. PF Chang's La Cantera is a proud sponsor of the Area 210 podcast.
Man, Wednesday, half-hour bottles of champagne and wine. Very good selection there. They have a good selection of cocktails as well, man. Tell us about those cocktails, Joe.
Yeah, you got the $8.99 signature cocktail collection by PF Chang's, and I've tried the lychee, which is my favorite, the Mai Tai, the version of the mule, the lemon drop, and of course they have their version of the Long Island iced tea, all $8.99. From what Sean was telling me, he says the people that go to the Haywire, which is right across from PF Chang's, for 2 lemon drop martinis, they paid $53. If you come to PF Chang's, the lemon drop martini is only $8.99. Not only do you save money, but the food's better over at PF Chang's. So if you go there, make sure you go and see Sean Quintero and tell him the Area 210 sent you.
And if you want to take it up to go, they have the parking spots there, right? For those who are doing the takeout orders.
Yeah.
You can always DoorDash it. You can always Uber Eats it or whatever the case may be. Give them a call. I kind of felt as a Spurs fan, Joe, that we were being accused of something a while back. You know, so those anti-tanking rules are being proposed right now for the NBA.
Yeah.
Looking at articles from Shams Charania from ESPN that was from last night. So they're looking at what's called a draft reform called the 3-2-1 lottery. And it represents the number of ping pong balls each team would get. So right now, the ping pong balls right now are based on like a combination, right? So it's like a lottery system. It's like bingo, right? You had to pull out a 4-digit code, and then you look at the code and you go, okay, well, this means that this team is going to get it. Back when the Spurs won the Wemby lottery, they had picked the first 3 balls, and I believe 6 of the 9 remaining combinations belonged to the Wizards. And when the last ball was sucked out of that machine, it had the Spurs number on there. So now it looks like they're going to go back to like just regular balls with the team logos on it, right? So it's called 3-2-1. And some teams will get 3 balls. Some teams will get 2 balls. Some teams will get 1 ball. Right?
Yeah.
And so it says spots 4 through 10 receive 3 lottery balls. The bottom 3 might get fewer balls, and then picks 12 through 16 would get 1 ball. And then there's a rule in there that says that you cannot be in the top 3 years in a row. That's aimed at the Spurs, right? Or top 5 3 years in a row, whatever the case may be, because Spurs got Harper, Castle, and Fox. I mean, Harper, Castle, and Wemby, rather. Do you think that the NBA is looking at the Spurs right now thinking to themselves that the Spurs are the reason for all this?
I think the Spurs were the trendsetters for a lot of things, right? One of those was the minutes restrictions, right? Coach Pop did that. Then the Spurs, infamously, what did they do? And people still don't believe us till this day. They tanked for Timmy.
They did.
Right? They tanked for Tim.
Yeah, they didn't bring Robinson back from that injury. Kind of like the Bucks doing that with Giannis this year.
Yeah.
Where they're like, don't come back.
They forced him to stay out, you know?
That's what they did. That's what they did with David.
They forced him to stay out. And what happened is that they had to go ahead and throw your name in the hat, right? In order to do that, you got to tank, right? And it paid out for them. What happened? They got the first overall pick. That turned into Tim Duncan, right? And then what happened after that? Spurs were infamously tanking again. And what did they get? Wembanyama. They got Castle. They got Harper, right? They got Carter Bryant. I mean, they don't always tank, but when they do it usually pays in their favor.
It
right?
works. And tanking may not result in championships, right? So, for example, they talk about Spurs and right now talking about, didn't you call Philadelphia's tanking? Trust the process. Maybe they should have given them the rules, the rules to them. Philadelphia is not winning championships, but they're relevant. Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Joel Embiid. They have a team that can compete every year in the Eastern Conference. Doesn't mean that they're the best team, no, but if all things fall into form, they might be able to make a run at it, right?
Yeah, look at what Tony Ornelas says. See it up on screen?
Yeah, he says Spurs didn't tank. Pop just thought that maybe number 10 could be a point guard one day. But what's interesting about this whole 3-2-1 format, Joe, is that teams that have the worst records would get fewer balls than teams 4 through 10. So right now, the top three teams get the most odds, 14% odds of winning the lottery, the number one pick in the draft, right?
Yeah.
They have like a 47% chance of being in the top 4. Then it goes lower and lower, teams 4 through 10. Here, 4 through 10 would get more lottery balls than 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Because that's the way of trying to prevent tanking by saying, look, you actually get more balls, ping pong balls, if you win some more games in the lower 3. Interesting take. And then also, since 4 through 10 are bunched up together, and it doesn't matter if you're 4 or 10 when it comes to the number of ping pong balls, there's no reason for them to tank as well.
Yeah.
There isn't a race to the bottom. I don't know if this is going to work necessarily, but they might try it out in 2029.
Right.
Shams Charania has an article on ESPN.com. Tanking doesn't always work. But
it doesn't.
But you know what? When you have generational talents, when you have a player like Cooper Flagg that comes out, or Wemby comes out,
yeah,
those are the lottery picks that you want to get.
Yeah.
And this year's draft is supposedly very, 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 very strong. I don't know if it's superstar strong, but very strong. There's a belief that they might have 7 to 8 all-stars in that draft. And that the back end of the draft, Spurs picking at number 20, might have actually some pretty good talent along the way.
You know, tanking doesn't always work, but again, if you don't try, you never know what'll happen, right? You got to throw your name in the hat. And I think that's what a lot of these teams do. They know that they need to go ahead and get players, you know, and they're like, you know what? There's a good draft class coming up. Let's go ahead and tank, throw our name in the hat. What's the worst that can happen? We get the number 1 overall pick.
Right.
Right.
And Spurs fans really annoy me right now, man. They annoy me sometimes when they go, well, it doesn't matter where we pick because F them picks, because, you know, we were able to get DeJounte Murray at 29 and Keldon at 29. And we got Manu at 56 or whatever he was. That's luck, Joe. That is luck. That is getting somebody who is, you know, not supposed to be there. Like Nikola Jokic was a second-round draft pick, right? So was Draymond Green. So was Manu Ginobili. The odds of that happening are very, very low. Just because you got that 1 in 100 chance to actually work doesn't mean that it's a likelihood. It's like saying you spin the roulette wheel and you bet the number 12 and it lands on 12 that you're good at roulette. No, you had a 1 in 36% chance, a 1 in 38 chance of hitting that, right? And you hit it. You won the lottery. You the ball went in your way. To say that that's going to be the thing, that the Spurs are so good that they get DeJounte at 29 and Tony Parker at 28 and all that stuff. You need to have the talented player there. Just because the Spurs are picking at whatever spot that's there doesn't mean that they're going to find a diamond in the rough. Because you know what? Last I saw, Malachi Branham was picked at number 25. Last I saw, or at number 20, and Blake Wesley at 25.
And what happened with all of them, including City Sissoko?
City Sissoko.
They're gone.
At 34, I believe.
Yeah.
Gone. What's her name? All of them gone.
Yeah. Even the infamous number 10, which was a reach. Where's he at? Gone.
Right.
You know, and that's the thing with the Spurs is that they might have these picks, but they don't always make the right choices. Right. And you've seen that they fumbled the bag in the past with some of these picks. Luka Samanic, for example, Lonnie Walker. You know, we can keep going on and on and on. They don't always hit, but when given the opportunity, right, to pick a top 10 pick, right, you know, picking a higher pick, they can make the right choice. And why? Because it's the obvious pick. You're going to pick the best available player. And
picking Wemby was the obvious
pick. What
choice.
Castle.
Castle was the obvious choice. Yeah, because
Harper, you know,
because there was in that draft, Joe, the Reese Shea, Alex Sarr, Reed Shepard, Stephon Castle, those were the 4 best players. They got drafted 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it was the beauty was in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
If the Spurs had the number 1 pick that draft, they would have chosen Castle. They would have chosen Reese Shea. They would have chosen Castle. And the same thing goes with like Dylan Harper. All these people trying to do revisionist history. Oh, if they could go back in time, they go get Conka Nipple. No, they wouldn't. The Spurs could go back in time right now, they'd get Dylan Harper.
Yeah.
Conka Nipple's a great player. He's a fantastic shooter. The most 3-pointers ever made by a rookie by far in NBA history. The guy's a stud. He's a sniper and a half. Spurs still would not get him. Still not get him. Joe, the NFL draft came and went. Caleb Downs. We haven't had that conversation yet. I know you had it last week, but I was so happy for you guys, man. Mike Shadamas, in true form, came out and said that it would be a victory for the Dallas Cowboys if they got Caleb Downs, who some people believe might be a top 3 or 4 player in the entire draft. What were your thoughts on Caleb Downs' name? And the Cowboys moved up to 11 to go get him. They got their boy. They got their guy. Cowboys, I remember they wanted J.C. Horn. They wanted Patrick Surtain.
Yeah.
And then what did they do? They stayed pat. And then they all got picked right in front of them.
So you're going to get my take on the Cowboys. I'm going to have to give them some love.
Stop the cap.
Here we go.
There you go.
There we go. And you know what? I also got my new Cowboys mug ready to go.
Oh, my God. You buying more merch.
Buying more merch. Cubs ready to go for the season, the upcoming season. But you know what? I was excited for the Cowboys and what they did. They made a move. You know, I was thinking they were going to go and maybe try to get the 6th overall pick, something of that nature. That didn't happen. Was a little disappointed. But then they went ahead and made a move, going from 12 to 11. I was like, okay, I can see it. You know, they probably had the conversation and they said, hey, we're going to pick your guy. You want to make a deal? And they said, yeah, let's do it.
I think they were trying to prevent other teams from going up. What confused me was watching the Cowboys pull off a trade with the Eagles. And I know that Jerry Jones afterwards said that if we didn't do business with teams that didn't like us, we would have no one to trade with. I get that, but they helped the Eagles get the wide receiver that they wanted.
You know, it works in both ways, right? Because you do this, right? And the team remembers. They can do you a solid in return, right?
Well, Mekhi Lemon from USC was that pick at number 20, right?
Yeah.
Did you know that he was on the phone with the Pittsburgh Steelers who were picking at 21? And the Steelers were telling him, hey, man, you know, we're picking you, man. Welcome to the team. He was all excited. And did you see that video of him looking down going, why are the Eagles calling me? And then you hear we have a trade to announce. The Eagles are moving up for the Dallas Cowboys, trading 20 to 22 and all that stuff. And to go off and to allow the Eagles, who are gonna lose A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
First reported by Dan Rossini. They're gonna lose A.J. Brown. And they need a wideout. And they allow the Eagles to move up 2 spots to get the wideout that they wanted. Your division rival. I don't see how that is, especially because the Cowboys everybody in the Cowboys organization had to have known that the Cowboys were going to go get Lemon.
Yeah.
And they allowed it to happen. I don't know, Joe. I know that the Spurs were really big in the day of saying, hey, we're not going to do any business with Western Conference teams. And they shipped Kawhi out to Toronto.
Yeah.
Want to chip anyway. Dude, they better hope that Cowboy fans better hope that like Mekhi Lemon is a bust. Because if he's really good, if he's like a Pro Bowler one day,
yeah,
and the Eagles win another chip, and he's catching in the end zone, that guy could have played for the Steelers instead. Brutal. Look at the draft grades on NFL.com.
Gave the Cowboys. I've seen the fluctuated from an A to a B.
B+ according to NFL.com.
Yeah. Caleb
Downs in the first round. Malachi Lawrence also in the first round. They dropped down from 20 to 23. Got it from UCF. Malachi Lawrence, by a lot of people on ESPN, were saying that was like their diamond in the rough, like that hidden gem that they thought somebody would get in the second round. Later on, LT Overton out of Alabama, 4th round defensive lineman.
Yeah.
Not bad, dude. That's not bad. I'd give the Cowboys a good grade when it comes to it all.
Yeah. You know what? What happened with your boy Jeremiah Love?
Going to the Arizona Cardinals.
And your New Orleans Saints, what did they do?
They were given a B+ rating as well. They got Jordan Tyson from Arizona State, the best wide receiver in the draft. I know he wasn't the first wide receiver taken in the draft.
No, he was not.
But it's one of those things, Joe. Talent-wise, he's by far the best wide receiver in the draft.
Yeah.
By far. The dude has had 3 season-ending injuries 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
And they're not all connected. It's like a shoulder, it's an ankle, it's a hamstring, it's a quad. They're all different from each other. So he's injury prone. But when he's out there, Jordan Tyson is an elite wide receiver.
What we got here? Media share alert.
Oh my God.
Sam Salinas. You're gonna show your belly. Be wearing your Cowboys gear, Mike.
And they got the Bite Chica's artwork in the background.
Mike showing his belly.
The Saints, according to ESPN.com and NFL.com, had a B+ rating when it comes to it all. And as far as your Houston Texans, Chica's team, the Texans scored a B. They got an offensive guard, Kevin Rutledge from Georgia Tech in the first round.
Yeah.
Dude, everybody from Ohio State was getting drafted. The water boy from Ohio State got drafted in the 6th round. Dude, did you see that Vanderbilt's quarterback, Pavia,
Yeah.
got a 3-year deal? How do you go from being undrafted to having a 3-year deal
Getting a
with
3-year
He got a 3-year deal with the Ravens.
How does that work?
Diego Pavia, 5'9", 5'10".
What was he listed at? 6 foot.
Oh no, they said he was 6'1".
Okay, Short King.
Short King.
And we got another incoming super chat. This one's from Jason Garcia.
Money talks. Here comes the money.
And thanks, Jason, for the $9.99 incoming super chat. He goes, there is nothing like rooting for your Spurs on the road outside of the state of Texas, because listening to the home fans get quiet and leave as their team takes the L is priceless, meaning they're heading for the exits.
And Jason was there for the Spurs' dramatic come-from-behind victory in Game 3 there. He lives in Portland.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the super chat. And to cheer the Go Spurs Go in a quiet gym, Joe, has been amazing. Watching all the Spurs fans in Miami when I went to that game in March, watching all the Spurs fans in Dallas when I went in November, priceless, dude. Priceless watching those games.
Glad I don't get to hear MJ say Jeremiah Love. Cringe.
Jeremiah Love. Dun, 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 dun.
6'1" with heels.
So I showed Chica the whole story about Diego Pavia, and I showed her the photos of Diego Pavia's mom.
Yeah. And
she goes, "Oh, that girl thirsty."
Oh my God, man.
Oh, Joe, man, I've been. I don't know if you've noticed throughout this entire show, I've been scratching my ear.
Yeah.
It's been 3 weeks, and I don't have all my hearing in my right ear. I went swimming in Miami, and something happened. And when I came back from Miami, I could hear 100% from my left ear and like 5% from my right ear. And I thought, oh, it'll just go away, whatever.
Nope.
Q-tip it out. It didn't go away. And I thought it was swimmer's ear. It wasn't that, right? So now I'm getting a little bit, freaked out and flustered about it all. Well, Chica's daughter is a physician's assistant. She was telling me that it's probably some sort of like infection.
Yeah.
And she told me to go get Flonase, right? So I got Flonase, and I've been squirting Flonase in my nose. She goes, it's going to take about 2 weeks. So every day that's gone by, I've gained a little bit more hearing. So I've gone from like 5% hearing to 10 to 50. I'm probably at like 60, 70% right now. And Francesca, my wife, is looking at me going, you know what it is, right? You got a bug in there. You got a bug. Something crawled in there. I'm like, shut up. Why is she telling me this?
You were swimming in the caca water, dude. That's what it was.
Seaweed over there in Florida.
Caca water.
But now that my hearing's coming back, when I start to hear better,
it's a crackle.
It tickles. So I'm there scratching my ear because it tickles.
Oh my God, dude. Look at this. This is the one. JHNSB. What's the story behind Jeremiah Love song? Just a twist on California Love?
Oh yeah, man. Just the same amount of syllables. Chica liked it when I brought that up, Joe, because I would sing that around the house. I'd be cleaning the house, saying Jeremiah Love.
She's probably like, what is that? What is that? And she sent me a video the other day. I just checked that on Facebook, and she goes, "This is where you wanted to take me," because I was saying, we should all go to Fiesta, right?
Yeah.
And she sent me a video of the
girls, the Susias
fighting.
So she had a comment similar to that with me earlier today because we live out near the Woodlands, which is very, very scenic, and Lake Conroe and all that stuff. And then we went to California. I went to my cousin's wedding in Temecula, California.
Yeah.
So I went to Oceanside and all that stuff, and we were going up and down the mountains. And the mountains are all scenic and all that stuff. And then yesterday's drive from Temecula to Orange County, going through San Clemente, California, going through all these areas in Orange County. Beautiful. You have all these mansions up on the hills and all that stuff. You have the Pacific Ocean. It's like driving through that video game Cruising USA. Remember back in the day?
Yeah.
Pizza Hut, right? It's a real life Cruising USA driving the 5. Ugh. And then I go from Conroe to San Antonio this morning, and it's 9 a.m. I'm driving in through the city, and I'm like, why isn't the sun out? Because the smog. And I told Chica, so we went from the beautiful mountains of San Clemente, California, to me driving through smog in San Antonio. And her reaction was, and you wanted us to live there.
Here's the thing, though. California is beautiful, right? And you went at a good time. But when you're there and it rains and you get the flash flood and you get the mudslides, you get the earthquakes. And then if you're out there in the sticks, you got to contend with what? The wildfires. The Santa Ana winds out there, especially if you're out in the sticks, you're out in the hills and the mountain area of California, and it starts to, you get a fire going, and then the winds come, dude, and then it's unpredictable because once the winds start blowing, they can blow any direction, and then it blows a fire and it goes haywire, right? The fire gets bigger. You got to contend with all that. Here in San Antonio, you might contend with this, but are we having to contend with wildfires burning down houses and decimating a whole subdivision?
But we have to deal with Marbach.
Hey man, I'd rather deal with the Marbach than have to deal with that. There's a good and the bad for every place that you live, but when you're out there in beautiful, sunny California,
San Clemente, California.
Yeah, it's nice and beautiful. But when you get there and you get this, the torrential downpour, the mudslides, the earthquakes, the fires, not so much. But we're going to show this picture because Jason Garcia sent this to us, and he was saying, because he went to a Portland game, right, when the Spurs were playing Portland, and he was saying this is the little tissue paper that they gave the fans because they didn't give them a shirt because the owner is notoriously cheap. They gave them this super thin little rowdy towel, and it says "Rip City runs deep." But look at how thin this thing is, dude. It's already losing color and everything.
It's already losing color.
Like, come on, this looks like from the dollar store, bro. Like, come on, man. No,
that's funny, Joe.
But we also got to give some love to Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio. This is where we had our live draft party, our NFL draft party. It was a lot of fun for everyone that came out. So we're going to give them some love. The Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio is Riverwalk dining at its best. With great scenic views along with its amazing collection of rock memorabilia, there is something for everyone. Enjoy happy hour weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. with $8 and $10 appetizers, $5 domestic drafts, and $6 craft import drafts at the bar only. Try some of the Hard Rock Cafe's legendary steak burgers, or my personal favorite, such as the grilled salmon or baby back ribs. Make sure to visit the third level and enjoy the DJ as you take in the city skyline. The Hard Rock Cafe is a proud sponsor of the Area 210 podcast. And we have this too coming in hot. We had a lot of stuff coming in hot in the media share. Someone sent this lovely De'Aaron Fox apology form. They said for Miguelito.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to sign that form. I have been a De'Aaron Fox defender.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this, Joe. You can talk crap to your siblings sometimes, but if somebody talks crap about your siblings,
that's different.
That's different, right? You can talk crap about your friends. Someone talks crap about your friends. Different.
Yeah.
I have been an apologist for De'Aaron Fox all year long.
No more.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the fact that he has the highest paid salary on this team, so he has to be held to the highest standard. And by the way, if you're going to have a De'Aaron Fox apology form, spell his name right.
Oh, man, Mike. You know what? They need to have one for Castle, too. We need to get one made up for Sean.
How does somebody misspell the name De'Aaron Fox?
D-A-A-Ron.
Literally A-A-Ron. And not capitalize it. Come on, man. See, you played yourself.
Mike.
That's funny.
Lose yourself
Oh my God. Siri, be quiet.
I know. Siri wanted me to play "Lose Yourself" by Eminem. That's weird.
Did you hear about this? I was talking about it with LG, but I won't get LG in trouble. But did you see the story that happened with the former San Antonio owner, Peter Holt?
No.
He'd been implicated.
Oh, I saw something about him being implicated about something, but
Trying to
what
go
happened?
ahead and pass. They say he's been accused of trying to go ahead and pay off a boat captain to go ahead and smuggle drugs, you know,
Mhm.
the cocaína. You know, he's gonna go fishing off the boat, and a couple bolsitas might fall off the boat. The bait fell off the boat, man. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, I mean, do you buy any of that stuff?
I mean, when somebody accuses people of stuff, I mean, there's an aura of truth about some things, you know, but this one, it just, I don't know, man. It just seems so far fetched. Like, really, dude?
Then again, billionaires are weird people, Joe. Have you ever met a billionaire?
No.
I have met, let me see here, 3 billionaires in my life. And I would say that all 3 of them have been weird. Met Jerry Jones. Nice long conversation with Jerry Jones. Weird man, dude. Weird man. I met Red McCombs. Well, he was a billionaire, or right at $1 billion, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of a weird man. Nice man. Kind of a weird man.
There aren't they all a little eccentric at some point?
I met a billionaire named Soros in New York City. Not the one that the Republican Party goes after all the time, but the other family member of his. Weird family, weird dog.
Jeez.
I went to their home in New York City because I was writing a documentary, and long story short, they were the weirdest people I've ever met in my entire life.
JHNSB says, call one of them right now, Mike. I don't believe you.
No, that's the whole debate about like who's the most famous person you have on your phone.
Yeah. Look at this. This is courtesy of The Score, but I saw this because they had put it out yesterday on the X, and it was a video from Inside the NBA, your favorite show, Mike, where they had Shaquille O'Neal talking about Victor Wembanyama, and he said Wemby is the first perfect big man that's ever been created, right? And he goes on to say, you know, he can shoot free throws, he can play defense, play offense. He's a great team player, and he's happy for Wemby. For me, in a long time, he's a joy to watch, is what Shaquille O'Neal was saying. So he gave some high praises to Wemby.
Yeah, and it reminds me also of the announcers from yesterday's game talking about how they were impressed with Wemby, his ability to put so much spin on the ball when he shoots, like the rotation of it is beautiful. And they're saying someone who's 7 foot tall doesn't have the rotation. They shot put it, or they flick it up in the air, but Wemby actually does a full extension of it all.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to make some money, give me a call, 210-508-0369, 210-508-0369. I've been in the financial planning business or financial advising business, I should say, for 21 years or so. That's why I'm in San Antonio meeting with my clients. I'm here every other week in San Antonio talking to my clients. I'll be in Corpus later on this week talking to clients as well over there. Enjoy doing what I do: investments, long-term care, life insurance. Today I'm dealing with a couple of people who inherited money. Their dad passed away.
No.
And we need to figure out what to do with the money, because some things they get to inherit outright. Other things they have to pay taxes on. Can we stretch those taxes out? That's what we're talking about today. Give me a call, 210-508-0369.
All right. We're going to have to go ahead and bring the show to a close, Mike, because I didn't realize the time. Getting away from us here, man.
Mario Cavazza says Michael's trying to sell them life insurance. All those billionaires said thank you, but no thank you. Do you know what rich people do? I'll tell you what rich people do.
What do they do?
They buy IUL, Index Universal Life policies, like crazy, man. Doctors, a lot of doctors I talk to that I work with right now, business owners, they buy IUL like crazy. They buy it like crazy. Whole life, not so much. Whole life is kind of old school, but IUL and stuff like that, not bad. Everyone have a fantastic day today. Everyone have a Spurs are advancing to the second round of playoffs. We'll find out who their opponent's going to be maybe as early as tomorrow night when the Nuggets play the T-Wolves. Spurs are probably not going to play for 5 or 7 days. So, but between now and then, we'll be celebrating, basking in the glory of the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
They've exceeded expectations, Joe.
They have at this point. I mean, anything else that happens here on out is just like I said, just enjoy the ride. Don't really have any expectations for them other than, they exceeded the expectation. They moved past the first round. They're on to the second round. Enjoy watching them grow, watching them play.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, real fast. I'm not going to get into it right now, but maybe some other time. I thought of a tall tale. Everyone's gonna say a tall tale. The time Greg Simmons prevented me from watching a Prince concert.
Oh my God! Dude.
When Prince came to San Antonio, pissed me off. I love Greg Simmons, but I never forgave him for that.
For missing the Prince concert. Oh God!
There's a lot to the story, Joe. We'll talk about that some other time.
All right, we'll talk about it maybe tomorrow. We'll go to see you boys tomorrow. We're out of here. Peace.
See
Have
ya.
a good one.